Welcome everyone to the very first episode of the Iconic Life podcast. I'm Hannah, and you guys, I like to call myself a transformation midwife. I am a midwife in my current day job, but midwife means to be with woman. And it is a strong core of my beliefs, my foundations, and my teachings that we need to be witnessed and witness. And so I midwife women and men in their transformations and as they are going through life. I call myself an overflow activator because when you are around me, when you are speaking your dreams, I'm gonna pull out that greatness in you, and we are gonna go far together. I'm a movement builder. I'm a mama of many. I'm a mentor to women who are done living on autopilot. And I want you to know something right up front as you're joining in today that this is not your average podcast, okay? We're not very formal here. We don't have all the flashy, settings and studio and all the things like that. This is just genuinely from my heart, right? This is my passion. This is what I want to share and what I've been called to share. And so I am walking in that um, with a lot of excitement and maybe even a little bit of nerves as I figure this out. So I'm so grateful that you are here and ready to join in and to really be just encouraged, expanded, um, inspired to do the things that you are here for, that you have been called and created to do and to be. Um, this is not where you're going to come for like just quick hacks or service level tips and tools for like business or life or whatever. Sure, we'll talk about those things, but this is where we're going to strip away the noise, right? This is where we just gather together. Like you've just pulled up a chair to my table with your coffee or your tea in hand, water, whatever it is, kombucha, whatever it is you like, sparkling water, wind chimes going in the background, candlelight flickering if it's in the evening time. But this is where we're going to dive into what it really means in a genuine and authentic way to live an iconic life. Because here's what I found. An iconic life is not built in the someday. It's not built in the one day in the future. You guys, it is chosen. It is chosen today. From the present moment, the future is created. And so that's what we're here doing together. Okay. So, who am I? A little bit more about me and why this podcast, right? Like I shared, my name is Hannah. I'm a mama of seven. I'm still working as a nurse midwife. I've been in women's health, labor and delivery for well over 2 decades. I'm a mentor for women who know they are created for more. But more than any of those titles that I just listed off, I am a woman who chose herself. At 32 years old, I became a widow in a moment, in the blink of an eye. My then husband CJ, drowned in a river in the mountains of Tennessee while we were on family vacation, leaving me with 5 babies, young children. They were 8 months to 9 years old. That pain was truly indescribable. I still don't have words to describe what that is like to have your entire life, identity, everything just shatter in a moment. It felt like my whole world just completely cracked, shattered in a million pieces, and that there's no way I could put it back, right? But in that breaking, even in the very moment, I remember standing in the river, next to the river, as we were frantically trying to find him. And I had a moment where something deeper was born that day because I realized that I had a choice to make. And I made that choice. I was not going to stay shattered. I was not going to let grief, destruction of my identity as a wife, as a woman, as what I had seen myself as, right? And for my children, I was not going to let that be just the rest of our story. We were going to rise. We were going to rebuild. We were going to choose to thrive. And that is one of my family's missions and mottos, choosing to thrive. I chose to believe that day, and every day since then and still on, to believe that God's promises for me were still alive in me, that my story wasn't over, that my children's story wasn't over, that my children deserved to see a mother who lived, not just survived. And from that work, from that moment, and so many other moments as well, we'll talk about, but this is why I do the work that I do. And this is a big reason is why I started the Iconic Life podcast, because I know what it's like to lose everything. And I think you have nothing but shards to fill, to grow from or to build from. But I also know what it feels like to rebuild something that is even more beautiful than before, right? Because we have a different depth of perspective, right? I learned how to make life for me, not just happening to me. I chose to step from victimhood into co-creating a life that I was wildly and excitedly in love with and just so joyful to be a part of still. So, out of my own journey and out of the years of mentoring and walking alongside visionary women and men, I created what I call the ICON Method. And I talk a lot about that in my work. Okay. It's a framework that I created that changed everything for me, and it changes everything for the people who I work with, right? And I'm going to kind of share you just an overview today, because it's going to be kind of the through line of every conversation that we have on this show. ICON is an acronym. Okay. I is for identity. Who you know yourself to be changes everything. If you are walking around believing that you're small, not enough, unworthy, no strategy in the world is going to stick, right? But when you claim your true divine identity as a woman or a man made in God's image with power and a purpose, right, for being here, the world responds differently to people who have that energy. C is for calling. You were not placed here by accident. You were designed on purpose for a purpose. Your calling is the assignment on your life, the unique contribution that only you can bring. And when you say yes to it, even when it feels terrifying, life begins to rearrange in your favor. O is for overflow. And this is where a lot of women and men get stuck, right? But as women, I think we've been told so much that success requires sacrifice, right? That we have to grind, we have to hustle, we have to pour ourselves out until we're empty and beyond. But that, I have come to believe fully, is a lie. It's a lie that keeps us stuck, keeps us turning in the emptiness and overwhelm. Okay. True wealth, true joy, true impact flow from overflow, which I talk a lot about in my work. Okay. From being so rooted, so resourced that you lead from fullness and not depletion. And that plays out into a lot of different ways in my work. Touches so many different aspects of your life, right? Because it's not just about your business, okay, or your career. And then finally, N is for network, because we don't rise alone, right? We're not meant to be alone. We are meant to be in community, and we rise together. You know the old parable, the old saying that if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. Well, I actually believe if you want to go fast and far, go together. Get a mentor, get a coach, right? Then you can go and fast and far. Because why are we trying to go slow? But we want to go far, right? We want to be this for the long haul. But that's so important that the right rooms, the right sisterhood, the right community, the right conversations, right? They stretch you, they calibrate you, and they remind you of who you really are. It helps to calibrate you to that next level. It helps to normalize the extraordinary in your life. Your network, your circle, your inner circle, your mentors, your coaches, whoever you have in your life, they are your amplifier. It's the table where you're reminded of your own greatness and helps you to kind of keep that energy, that frequency of being in that new level as if it's our full-time job, right? Like that is our job as we are doing this work, is holding that energy and that frequency of being moving to the next step, being stretched, being, expanding, right? Stepping into that greatness, into that truly limitless calling where the sky is not even the limit, as one of my mentors says, right? Where 1 + 1 = the limit does not exist. I love that she says that. But I believe that truly. When we're walking in our calling, there is no limit to what we can do, right? So, identity, calling, overflow, network. This is my ICON method, right? And we're going to keep coming back to that, keep touching on it, keep sharing on it, because when you embody and learn and just ingrain these 4 pillars in your life and your business, you don't just create success, wild amounts of wealth, which sure we're going for. You are creating a legacy built from fullness, overflow, joy, peace, identity, and calling. And there is nothing like it. I also want to just share a little bit something that's really close to my heart, which I call my P31 framework, or the new paradigm. You may recognize it from Proverbs 31, right? So I call it the P31 woman. But the Proverbs 31 is the virtuous woman passage. I think a lot of us have heard of it, growing up, whatnot. But I just got really clear and curious about that as I loved that chapter, right? And I was like, it was held up as a model of what we're supposed to be, etc. But when I looked at that, I realized that the picture of her did not line up with the picture of what I was seeing taught to me or lived out or expected from me as a woman, right? So um, I don't see the Proverbs 31 woman as a checklist of some sort, right? Or some impossible standard that we're supposed to live up to but never can, right? I see her as an archetype, a blueprint for today's woman. She is strong and soft. She builds wealth and she builds the home and nurtures the home. She is sovereign and surrendered, powerful and nurturing, right? It's a beautiful balance of masculine and feminine. She's a visionary entrepreneur and a grounded, nurturing mother. She's an investor, a leader, a lover, a woman of much wisdom. She is the new paradigm, right? She's you, she's me, she's every woman who has decided to rise in her calling and live from fullness. This podcast is about reclaiming that model as our new paradigm, not the outdated version, not the hustle-driven boss babe archetype, right? But the woman who leads iconically, who embodies radiance, alignment, and abundance in every part of her life. So my invitation to you is I want you to imagine what becomes possible when you choose yourself every single day. When you say yes to your identity, to your calling, your overflow, your network, when you choose to live as the P31 woman for this generation, what does that look like when you lead your family, your business, your movements, not from depletion, but from joy and overflow, from abundance, from a place where your very being is the strategy? So that's what we're going to explore here on the Iconic Life podcast. You guys, I am so excited. We have already a lineup of amazing individuals. We're going to come on and share from all different walks of life. From all different experiences and backgrounds. And I'm so excited to share them with you. Like, this is going to be such rich conversations, gold mines. I'm just like literally like finding jewels and nuggets of gold as you are listening to the conversations that we're having, things that you can apply to your life and to your business and things like that. But things are going to help you, right? Build and reach that next level of whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, right? So I'm going to be bringing on just amazing leaders, visionaries, women and men who are choosing to live iconically because it is a choice, right? We're going to share origin stories, challenges they've navigated and overcome or are walking through, the victories that show us what is possible when you choose that, when you choose you. And with every episode, you're going to be reminded that you too can live a life you are wildly in love with. You can co-create this expansive, amazing existence here with the days that you were given because you were made for it. You were created for it. That dream that is placed within your heart is divinely placed. I truly 100% believe that. Listen to that and let's go. So as we wrap up today, I just want to leave you with this simple reflection. Simple question for you. What would shift in your life if you truly decided today that you are iconic? Think about that. Write it down, what that would mean to you, right? What that would look like, what it would shift, right? And for us, the definition of iconic, and just in case you aren't sure what that is the definition is, let's see, relating to or of the nature of an icon, right? Regarded as a representative symbol or worthy of veneration, right? Or depicting a victorious person in convention and style. So like, what does it mean to become iconic? It means to be so wildly recognized, admired, and influential that you become a symbol for a particular idea, person, era, culture, or movement. Okay. An iconic figure or object, right? But in this case, we're talking about figure, humans, right? Something that stands for something larger, right? Something that symbolizes like um, distinctive excellence, possessing lasting impression, right? Unique qualities, often celebrated and influential within a culture or a field. And for us, that's it within your world, within your work. Become an icon in that. That people who when they hear something that whatever it is that you work in, they instantly think of you, that you are the thought leader for that work, right? So write that down, think about it, speak it out loud, let it start working in you. What would that look like if you truly decided that you are going to be iconic? Because here is the thing, we don't wait to become iconic. It's not a in the future moment, someday, sometime. You decide. You decide right now. You say yes to yourself, to your calling, to your abundance. And from that moment, life begins to bend in your favor. So thank you all for joining me in this very first episode of the Iconic Life podcast. We're so excited, like I said, to share with you some of the amazing individuals who are coming up. Um, if this stirred something for you, I want you to share it with a friend, please, right? A friend who who may be ready to rise, who's looking for that, who's been talking about it. Share it with them, right? Leave us a review. That really helps us a lot. Subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our podcast so you can always be ready to catch the next one that's coming up. But come back for the next conversation. Grab your cup of tea, grab your coffee, grab your notebook so you can write down your notes, right? I promise these conversations are going to ignite something in you, okay? So until next time, remember, an iconic life isn't built someday. It's chosen today.